Stam Garden Center, your one-stop shop for spring. Transform your indoor and outdoor space with our stunning selection. Visit us today, open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the thousands listening locally and the millions listening around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to Shetland!
It is that magical time of the morning where you get ready to Shetler. Are you ready to Shetler? Let's get ready together. Hey, good morning to you. It's the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media, where we Shetler all the time. Our morning wake up being brought to us by Stam Greenhouse, where you can experience the color. They are open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They are closed on Sundays. So Stam Greenhouse sponsoring our morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. We appreciate their support. We are broadcasting live from the Oski Dental Studios, as you can make an appointment with Dr. Schuster or Dr. Drawn at 641-673-4845. Oski Dental in Oskaloosa, Iowa. Let's see here. Let's get into our forecast. Give me just a second here. Let's look at our forecast. It's brought to us by the Garden Gate. Garden Gate located at 105 South Jefferson in Sigourney, 641-622-3191. You can see Cindy and the gang Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to noon. And they've got fresh floral arrangements, jewelry, home decor, sympathy gifts, something for everyone. And for today, there is a 40% chance of some showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon. Partly sunny otherwise, breezy northwest winds, and a high of 63. Tonight, a 20% chance of some showers before 8 p.m., and then breezy, a low of 42. Tomorrow, sunny, breezy, 65. Clear and still a little bit windy tomorrow night, low of 39. Saturday, we start to warm up. Sunshine 78 on Saturday, into the 80s on Sunday. Right now, our current conditions here in southeast Iowa, humidity just at 63%. Northwest winds right around 20 miles per hour, and the barometer at 29.70. Currently 50 degrees here in southeast Iowa. Your weather brought to us by the Garden Gate in Sigourney. Well, just a little while ago, earlier this morning at 6 a.m., we always put up our This or That, which is brought to us by Stacy Flynn at the Legacy Insurance Group and Welcome Realty in Sigourney. Our This or That for today is ice cream. I could talk about ice cream all day long. Vanilla ice cream is your this, and then flavored ice cream is your that. What do you think? This or that? That's a tough choice. I would probably go with this if you could like throw toppings on it. I mean, I like good vanilla ice cream, but it's always better with like, Reese's peanut butter cups mixed in, or some chocolate, chocolate syrup or whatever. But yeah, I would take either. I'm not going to argue either one on that one for the this or that. So make sure you scroll back in your Facebook news feed and comment on this or that, brought to us by Stacy Flynn. Let's see here. Coming up later on today at noon, we always go into our question of the day. And that's brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa at 202 North Main in Sigourney. Get in there for all those products, hair and spa services. Call or text for an appointment at 641-622-3772. Your question of the day is, how many times a week do you eat at restaurants? How many times a week do you eat out? For me, it's probably too many. There's like stopping into Casey's and like grabbing a piece of pizza or a sandwich or, going wherever. Does that count? I don't know. So how many times a week do you eat at restaurants? So that is your question of the day. That goes up at noon today. Coming up later on this week here on Steve Shetler Media, of course, we're going to be stopping into Barnwired tomorrow on the square in Sigourney for our Iowa Music Showcase. There you see Joshua Sinclair. He's going to be bringing his music to Barnwired tomorrow, 11:30 to noon. At, again, Barnwired in Sigourney for the Iowa Music Showcase. Joshua Sinclair, an Iowa, he's country, mostly country-ish, kind of pop country, I guess you would say. The guy can definitely rock out as well. Joshua Sinclair, I think you're going to like him. He's coming tomorrow to the Iowa Music Showcase. Stop into Barnwired live and in person, be part of the live audience. Get some coffee and lunch, or just watch right here on Steve Shetler Media, whichever way you want to do it. Coming up on Saturday morning, we'll slide on over to Brothers Market in Sigourney for the sports section, as Jenny Hobbs is our host, and she'll have a guest lined up for Saturday morning, the sports section, live from Brothers Market, Saturday mornings here on Steve Shetler Media. Also going on, of course, we've got our tournament going on. Our For the Fun of It tournament is happening right now, brought to us by Sarah's Quickie Delivery. Now, these matchups, they start new, fresh and new, a new matchup at 6 p.m. each weekday here on Steve Shetler Media. And our matchup going on right now until 6 p.m. this evening is Martina McBride versus Mary Chapin Carpenter. Of course, this is a battle of the 90s country female superstars, sponsored by Sarah's Quickie Delivery, food delivery service in the Oskaloosa and surrounding area. We do thank Sarah's Quickie Delivery for sponsoring the For the Fun of It tournament. Again, last month it was 90s country guys. This month it's 90s country gals, country female superstar. First round matchup with Martina versus Mary. So get your votes in. You can just scroll back through your Facebook feed and find that matchup. Hit the thumbs up in the reactions for Martina, or give a heart for Mary Chapin Carpenter. Right now, Martina has a pretty decent lead, so we'll see if she can move on to the next round. Looking at our current brackets, there you see what has happened so far, as Shania Twain, Faith Hill, and Reba have all moved on to the second round. We'll see in that right-hand bottom corner if Martina McBride can move into that next round. So we've got some interesting matchups. Our next matchup that'll go up at 6 p.m. this evening will be Trisha Yearwood versus Leanne Rimes. Battle of the gals who sang How Do I Live back in the 90s. So, interesting stuff. Lots of fun with our morning wake up. Actually, that's the 90s country female superstar For the Fun of It tournament, brought to us by Sarah's Quickie Delivery. Have we gotten through most everything? Let's throw up some community calendar events. The Glow Party going on at Be the Light Ministry. That comes up a week from yesterday, actually. Yeah, so next Wednesday, Be the Light with their Glow Party for kids. That'll be an after-school thing. April 17th at Be the Light in Sigourney. Coming up today, might want to check out the 2024 Keokuk County Hospital Auxiliary Spring Vendor Fair. That goes on today from 10 to 3 at Keokuk County Hospital and Clinics in Sigourney. Their front lobby, use the front main entrance to the hospital, Proceeds from that vendor fair go to the Keokuk County Hospital Auxiliary Health Field Scholarships. So again, that's today from 10 to 3. Make sure you look into that. And what else we got on our community calendar? Do want to focus on this coming up tomorrow and Saturday, the Keota Citywide Cleanup Days. So you can see the information there. Tomorrow from noon to 4, Saturday from 8 to noon. With the location is dumpsters located by the Keota Water Tower. No curbside pickup. There will be a metal dumpster and a garbage dumpster. So if you want to get rid of some stuff, you can see what is not allowed. Otherwise, everything else is fair game. So citywide cleanup days in Keota coming up this weekend. All right, we are doing the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. It's brought to us by Stam Garden Center in Oskaloosa. We are live from the Oski Dental Studios. Which shoulder is it? It's this shoulder. We've got the smiley little toothy back there with Oski Dental. Let's look at our good mornings. Who am I missing out on here? We've got Dan, we've got Dodie, Sherry, Jackie, Tamra, Nancy, Amber, Jennifer, Cindy, Tracy, Bubby. Good to see you all in the comments this morning. Let's go ahead and get into our birthdays. Let me find the birthday song. Here we go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. Birthdays for today. Our old fart of the day. Old fart is the widow of RFK, Ethel Kennedy. Ethel Kennedy is turning 96 years old. Widow of Robert F. Kennedy. Ethel Kennedy, 96. We've got actress Louise Lasser from Mary Hartman, turning 85 years old. Country singer Steve Azar. Do you remember that name? I mean, it's a name that stands out, especially in country music. Steve Azar. He had the song, I Don't Have to Be Me Till Monday. If you're a fan of like 90s, early 2000s country, Steve Azar, 60 years old today. Actress Jennifer Esposito from Spin City, Blue Bloods, NCIS, 51 years old. And then singer Joss, not Josh. Joss Stone, singer born on this date in 1987. She is 37 years old, so happy birthday to Joss. On this date in history, Iowa made the news on this date. In 1921, Iowa became the first state to impose a cigarette tax. So 1921, Iowa doing a good thing there. 1947, the previously unthinkable happened. In 1947, when Jackie Robinson became the first black player in Major League Baseball, playing in an exhibition game between the Dodgers and the Yankees. So, very historic thing happening on this date, 1947 for Jackie Robinson. It was today in 1970, Paul McCartney announced that he would no longer record with John Lennon. So the split happened. John Lennon and Paul McCartney having a falling out. It was on this date, let's see here on the National Day calendar. Today is National Living Donor Day. It's National It's National Submarine Day. Was that a good submarine noise? It's National Cheese Fondue Day. Or fondant. Fondue? Fondant. National Pet Day. Oh, we got to celebrate all of our bazillion pets here at the Shetler household. We've got a National 8-Track Tape Day. Does anybody still have 8 tracks? And then we've got National Barbershop Quartet Day. You know, I always used to be a rocker in my younger days, way back when. And then I always said that when I got older, I'd do a barbershop quartet. I haven't quite made that come true yet, but you never know. We'll see. Those are your days on the calendar. Hey, before we get into things you need to know, let's get into some of our commercials. Again, we do thank Stam Garden Center, Stam Greenhouse for sponsoring our morning wake up. Let's hear from them.
Stam Garden Center, your one-stop shop for spring. Transform your indoor and outdoor space with our stunning selection. Visit us today, open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa.
Steve Shetler Media presents Tuesday Night Tune-Up, TNT. Coming to you from Smoky Row in Oskaloosa, Iowa. On Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m., April 16th through August 13th. Hosted by Safe Grafke. Talking to local and area drivers. Get tuned up for the racing week ahead with Tuesday Night Tune-Up, TNT. Starting April 16th, live from Smoky Row in Oskaloosa, right here on Steve Shetler Media. All righty, we are back here on the Morning Wake Up, brought to us by Stam Greenhouse. Speaking of Safe Grafke, the host of Tuesday Night Tune-Up, I just saw Safe yesterday, and he is excited. He is raring to go to host TNT, Tuesday Night Tune-Up, starting next Tuesday from Smoky Row in Oskaloosa. Should be a lot of fun if you like the local and area racing scene. Hey, one new thing that we debuted on Steve Shetler Media Facebook yesterday is some new content, some new programming from a young lady in Washington, Iowa. She goes under the name Iowa Farm Mama, and she's going to give us some content from just basically all around southeast Iowa, south central Iowa, and she ventured over to Pella. Let's take a look at that.
Hey everyone, I am in Pella, Iowa, home of Tulip Time. If you've never experienced Tulip Time, I highly recommend it as a stop to your list. It happens this year, May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 2024. If you love town celebrations, this is definitely one to come see. They have an amazing downtown and awesome stores, as well as beautiful flowers that bloom for weeks. If you're not a fan of crowds, you can stop by here any day and see all of the tulips throughout their town. So be sure to add Pella to your list of Iowa things to come see.
So once again, that's a new part of our programming here on Steve Shetler Media from Iowa Farm Mama. Make sure you give her a like on Facebook. Check her out on social media. She'll be giving us some content here on Steve Shetler Media. Looking forward to that. Again, venturing over to Pella. Let's go ahead and do some things you need to know. Things you need to know for the first time. You have definitely heard about this already on the news. For the first time, the Women's College Championship game had a bigger audience than the men, fueled by Caitlin Clark. 18.9 million for the women's game, 14.8 million for the men. Yet the women's game got, check this out, the women's game got 99% less money than the men's game. I'm assuming that means like advertising dollars. But we'll see if that changes in the future. But Caitlin Clark leading that surge in popularity for women's basketball. Other things you need to know, the Postal Service asking to raise the price of a first-class stamp. Really? From 68 cents to 73 cents, just 3 months after the last price hike. So stamps probably going to be going up even more. Things you need to know, a woman in Texas, this is bad. A woman in Texas diagnosed with terminal cancer and given 15 months to live. I mean, think how you would feel if you got that news. After 2 rounds of chemo, doctors discovered they had made a mistake. Whoops. And she never really had cancer to begin with. Lawsuits. I think there's some lawsuits there. Let's go to Florida. A man argued with police. He had a perfect right to be completely naked, drunk, and acting disorderly while sitting in a trash can last Monday. Again, he was arguing that he had the right to be naked, drunk, and disorderly while sitting in a trash can. Needless to say, he was arrested. If you like the Bridget Jones movies, another one is on the way. Renee Zellweger returning for a new movie coming out on Valentine's Day of next year. It's called Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy. So look for that. I don't know if that's in theaters or if that'll be streaming somewhere, but a new Bridget Jones movie. Conan O'Brien returning to The Tonight Show on Tuesday night for the first time since he was fired from the show. He was there to plug his new series, Conan Must Go, which comes up on the streaming service Max. Used to be HBO Max. Now, that was 14 years ago when he was fired from the show. So, good to see that he was back on the show, making amends there. Let's go back to women's college basketball. Stanford women's basketball coach Tara Vandiver announcing her retirement on Tuesday, ending the winningest coaching career in college basketball history. After 45 years, she leaves with 1,216 career victories. So, a happy retirement to Coach Vanderveer. Other things you need to know: Alaska and Wyoming are going to be holding their presidential primaries this Saturday. And nobody cares. Also, Jessica Alba stepping down as the chief creative officer of The Honest Company. Now, this is a company, personal care product company, that she actually founded, and now she's stepping down, so don't know what's going on there. And then finally today, Wynonna Judd's daughter, Grace Kelly, has been arrested in Alabama on charges of indecent exposure and obstruction of justice. Wynonna's daughter, Grace Kelly, getting into some trouble. Those are things you need to know. Let's do this. Today's Impossible. It's impossible question. Today's impossible question. There are millions of varieties, and it took less than 2 decades, available to nearly anyone everywhere, bringing in about $1 million this year alone. What are we talking about? What are they? Again, there's millions of them, available to nearly anyone, anywhere, brings in a ton of money. We're talking about podcasts. What do you think? I've thought about putting some of my content into podcast form. Would that be better? Would it be overkill? I don't know. Like, would this morning show work in an audio form? Would like the Iowa Music Showcase work in an audio form in a podcast? Oh. Thoughts for Steve Shetler Media. Let's get weird.
That is weird.
In the weird, a French woman, has broken the world rope climbing record after reaching the second floor of the Eiffel Tower on Wednesday. Her name, I'm probably going to mispronounce it, Anouk Ganer. She's 34 years old. She climbed 110 meters in 18 minutes to set a new high, and she was raising money for cancer prevention and support. So, rope climbing, breaking some records there. Let's do this. Ooh, and I've got a picture here, too. Let me bring up this picture. There we go. Let me get my stuff out of the way. One unusual solar eclipse spectator who watched the sun disappear in Arkansas is going viral for the chicken's particularly tiny pair of protective glasses. Tad Fendley of Amityville, or no, not Amityville, just Amity, Arkansas. Watch the eclipse, not the Amityville horror, just Amity. Now, this guy watched the eclipse on Monday with his pet chicken Gertrude in his arms and wearing her own pair of eclipse protection glasses. His sister took the photo and posted it to social media, earning Gertrude the chicken several new fans. So Gertrude with her glasses and her owner going viral. That is weird. In other weird news, a Duke University professor has died after he had a mid-air medical crisis while piloting an airplane in North Carolina on Sunday. Again, he was flying. He's the pilot, and he died. A passenger was able to take control of the single-engine plane, managed to make an emergency landing. It's unclear what caused the pilot's medical emergency, so that would be a scary situation. Let's go to the Olympics. This year's Olympians are fighting for more than medals, as they're going to each be vying for a chunk of $2.4 million, a prize pot offered for the first time by the governing body of the World Athletics. Gold medalists in each of the 48 athletic events will take home $50,000, with the prize for relay teams split between the winning participants. So, yeah, they're fighting for some money. In TV rate, we talked about this already. TV ratings for the NCAA. Iowa women drawing big numbers, outdrawing the men. Now, let's look at some of those money numbers. The men's tournament pulled in $873 million for the TV rights, while the women only got $6.5. Again, let me repeat that. The men's tournament brought in $873 million for TV rights. The women got $6.5 million. The Wall Street Journal notes the wide discrepancy raises the question of whether college athletics officials have failed to capitalize on a surge in popularity in the women's game. I'd say they definitely missed out this year. I don't know. Will it maintain next year with Caitlin moving on from college? We'll just have to wait and see. Finally, in some weird news, an escaped racehorse. An escaped racehorse made its way to a train station in Sydney, Australia, mate, and trotted up and down the platform before attempting to board a train and then chasing a passenger. Transport for New South Wales posted a series of security camera photos to Facebook and footage to Instagram showing the horse, clad in a beige raincoat, wandering onto the platform during heavy storms at the train station. Transport for NSW said the fare-dodging equine was seen trotting up and down the platform before watching a train pull into the station and standing as if it was waiting to board. You might want to look that up online, see if you can get some pictures and footage of the Australian racehorse that got loose. Let's go to the files of law and disorder. In some disorder, 19 feral cats have free reign of Mexico's national palace, long roaming the lush gardens and historic colonial halls of the most iconic buildings in Mexico. Now, the cats have access to every part of the palace, so they can basically walk in on meetings, interviews, wander onto camera. Let's see here. Now the palace cats have made history after the government of Mexican President Obrador declared them to be living fixed assets, the first animals in Mexico to receive this title. So 19 feral cats, they can do whatever they want at the Mexican palace. That is pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and jump into something to make you smile.
Something that makes you smile.
Something to make you smile, brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental Solutions in Sigourney. Of course, Lifetime Dental also has a location in Oskaloosa. They are celebrating Oral Health Month. And did you know poor oral health is linked to heart disease, arthritis, and cancer? Book your appointment today. Dr. Stacy Freeze and staff in Sigourney at 641-622-2669, lifetimedentalsolutions.com. Let's see here. In the days since the 7.4 magnitude earthquake that shook Taiwan, Roger, the dog, one of 4 search and rescue dogs deployed by the fire department in Taiwan, has emerged as an unexpected star of the recovery operation. Now, his playful antics, along with his background as a failed drug-sniffing dog, have captured hearts and offered moments of levity for a country still reeling from the disaster. At one news conference, he attempted to gnaw on a reporter's microphone. During another, he tore apart a soft toy, scattering stuffing across the floor. So you might want to look into Roger the dog in Taiwan, as he is bringing joy to folks in Taiwan after a recent earthquake. That is something to make you smile. Brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental Solutions. We are doing the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. It's brought to us by Stam Greenhouse, Stam Garden Center and Nursery in Oskaloosa. And we are broadcasting to you live from the Oski Dental Studios. Let's do some duh.
Duh.
In some duh, visitors to Munich's Modern Art Museum come for, modernist treasures by the likes of Picasso and others. But this month, some visitors got to see something else that they didn't expect. The work of a museum employee, apparently hung without permission on the walls alongside masterpieces of the 20th century. Now, per the police, the artist was a 51-year-old employee in the technical services department. He'd allegedly hoped that showing his work in the museum would lead to future opportunities. Details of his stunt remain unclear. Not even the museum administration is sure how long this guy's work hung on the wall. The employee being investigated is not likely to face any major charges. The only criminal offense he could face is a minor infraction for drilling 2 holes into what had been a bare wall where he hung his work. Still, the worker's employment status has changed. He was fired and banned from re-entering the museum. So, kind of a good idea, but he still gets the duh.
Duh.
That is your Department of Duh, your moment of duh here on Steve Shetler Media. Before we get out of here, let's take a look at our forecast once again. It's brought to us by the Garden Gate in Sigourney. Chance of some showers and thunderstorms later on today. Otherwise, partly sunny and pretty darn breezy. Wind gusts could get up to 40 miles per hour with a high temperature today of 63. Again, our morning wake-up brought to us by Stam Greenhouse. They are open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and closed on Sundays. And we always broadcast our morning wake-up live from the Oski Dental Studios. That is your morning wake-up here on Steve Shetler Media. Coming up, let me look over at our schedule for today. We've got In Remembrance Of coming right up at 8 a.m., let's see here. At 10 a.m., the Sigourney Public Library video with Miss Amanda goes up. At 4 o'clock this afternoon, The Great Outdoors with Laura DeCook from Mahaska County Conservation. We'll have Successful Farming at 5:30. We'll get to our weekly pet this evening from the Heartland Humane Society. And we'll also have Morgan You Asked For, the sports and more broadcast from our friends in Oskaloosa. So lots to get to, of course, all of our normal stuff that pops up on Facebook throughout the day. So stay tuned to Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We got plenty to get to today. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in today. You guys have a great Thursday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow at 7 a.m.